Okay, we are live. Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, going good. Yeah, pretty good. So this is our live for today. I'm here with Where's Poppy?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Okay, cool. Sorry, my audio was just on, as it always is in the background. But I am joined here today with Where's Poppy and Collin Abroadcast, two of my favorite YouTube channels. So excited that you guys are here. Can I just go through both of you so you can introduce yourselves for the stream? So Poppy, would you like to go first?
Yeah, so I'm Poppy, and I make travel videos, just traveling the world, trying to really highlight people and cultures is my goal in every video. It doesn't always happen, but it's my goal. And right now I'm in Australia, kind of really, really cold right now in the morning. I'm outside kind of camping, so it's going to be an interesting live video. I'm really excited.
Amazing.
And I used to live in China for a year, so.
Oh, amazing. Okay, I'm excited to get into your China experiences. Can we expect some interesting videos from Australia from your channel soon?
Yeah, if I ever get power, that's the problem, and internet, then yes, of course.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to go on to Collin so he can briefly introduce himself, but I want to get right into what you've been doing at the moment, Poppy. It's absolutely fascinating. Collin, would you be able to introduce your channel and yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Collin. I run the channel Collin Abroadcast. Basically, what I do is pretty much just go shopping around the world. I'll go into the markets wherever, bargain with people and whatnot. And yeah, I've lived in China. I don't live there anymore, obviously, but I've lived there for a good almost 3 years. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm excited to do this. Oh yeah, currently I'm in Egypt as well too. So
Awesome. Okay, that's so cool.
Yeah. I miss shopping with you. I got a lot of good deals.
oh my God, that was so fun in Shanghai.
So, Poppy, is Collin like the master negotiator? Is he actually as good as
seriously.
you?
Yeah, and I'm horrible. And so I'm like,
Me
please,
too.
I want that bag. Can you go get that shirt? But he wants to watch me
I
sell it
remember
first, and then he'll get
when
it.
you were like, I remember when you're like, I'm gonna come with you, but I'm not gonna bargain. And like the first person we went up to, you're like, oh, okay. You just like went into it, like you were
Yeah,
like
but
nervous
not very
to do
well.
it, but then
Yeah.
yeah, no, you did well. That was fun. That was a good time.
All right. Well, thanks.
That sounds awesome. I hope to join the party one day. I want to go bargaining with you, Collin. It's
you could do like
so
a
much fun.
Absolutely, we'll do it. Definitely.
I can't wait. Can I ask you a question? How does the bargaining in Egypt compared to the bargaining in China? Have you noticed any big difference?
Yeah, that's the thing about traveling to all these different countries is like essentially bargaining, everywhere you go, bargaining, everybody's doing business. It's all the same. However, there's little nuances in each different culture. Like China, they see you, they're going hard as heck, like they're not going to let you out of the shop. Egypt is kind of more relaxed, well, it depends, but Egypt, for the most part, I feel like it's more relaxed and more professional, for lack of a better word. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. I've never been to Egypt. I really, really want to go.
Me
it looks
either.
awesome.
Definitely.
Are you still in Cairo? No, or you've moved now to Alexandria, right?
Yeah, Alexandria currently.
Yeah. Cool. How's that? What's Alexandria like?
It's nice. The whole city is based upon the Mediterranean Sea. So everywhere you go, you get a sea breeze, and it just feels so good. Compared to Cairo, it's kind of like, I don't know. Cairo was just always hot, and there was like stale air. Alexandria, you always get that sea breeze, so it feels great.
Sounds wonderful. Poppy, can you go into more detail on like what you're actually doing at the moment? Everyone wants to know where is Poppy and like what's your life? Like, can you go back to even telling us about your work on the potato farms? Like, give us everything.
Yeah. I feel like my life has been in serious high gear since this whole madness of the world started. Like, a lot of people are bored, and I'm like, I need to freaking calm down. Yeah, so back in March, I think that's when I pretty much stopped posting content because I was supposed to go like on all these trips. I was supposed to go to China. We were supposed to go to China together, actually.
Yeah.
We were gonna go learn Chinese at a Mandarin school. That was supposed to be really cool. And I was supposed to go to Bali on a group trip and all these things. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm over it. But it's all canceled, and so I had to do my visa work. So I'm on a 1-year visa to Australia, and if you want to extend it a second year, you have to do 3 months of farm work, or 3 months for me as American working like in a restaurant, but above like you have to be north of Australia. But when this whole situation happened, I couldn't leave my state, so I couldn't get out, and so the only option was farm work. But the thing is, there were no jobs because everybody got out of work, so every person in their mind went to the farms. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even get a farm job. I managed to. It was a really bad job. I was sorting potatoes, and it was 12 hours a day with no days off. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to post content, but then I get home from work exhausted from doing the same thing all day, standing and freezing and sorting these potatoes. I was like, I cannot edit a video. Like, this is just, I hate my life. It was honestly, it was pretty horrible. But it was a good group of girls. It was like 7 girls, and we just kind of complained together. And I did that for 2 months. And then I went and planted trees, but then the Victoria and New South Wales border here shut for the first time in I think 100 years. Was it? It's never shut before, and it's supposed to be shut for 2 months. And because Victoria is getting like a crazy spike in cases, and they went back into stage 4 lockdown, and it's really bad right now. And so I was like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out where the rest of Australia is doing fine. So I basically, within the span of 24 hours, quit my job, packed up all my stuff, moved out of the place I was living that I just got to for just 2 weeks, and jumped in a convoy with a bunch of people I've never met. It basically met them through a Facebook backpacker group who were like, we want to travel up the coast. And so this guy who has this crazy decked out truck, like it's basically like living in a tiny house, but it's this massive truck, and there's like 8 of us living inside of this thing. Like, I'm sleeping in a hammock, and like we've got all these cars, and we're like driving up the coast to Sunshine, and we keep meeting other backpackers, and now we're like 5-6 cars just like all living in our vans and driving up the coast. And right now I'm like literally in the bush in New South Wales, like no internet, no Wi-Fi, no electricity, no nothing. Haven't showered in a week. Like really living the homeless life, not gonna lie, but it's definitely a really fun adventure, and I'm getting some pretty interesting content. If I could ever get some power, I could post something, but that's the hard part. So and
I'm really
sitting
looking
in front of a cave right now making this video.
Are you actually? Whoa.
Yeah, there's like, I don't know how to even show you, but there's a cave behind me. Like, like,
oh wow,
like homeless status.
Show us the other way, but I'm in front of you. It looks really pretty.
It's really beautiful. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
But there's like some crazy clouds and mountains going on right now. It's really cold, but it's really beautiful. So it's a nice way to do a live video.
Yeah. Wow. I've never gone live with someone who's in such a location before. You're literally like in the middle of nowhere.
I've never gone live before, and I'm like, wow, I had to climb this mountain to get like 2 bars of reception. So I'm also looking for 4G as well. I'm in my grandma's house up the coast, and she doesn't have Wi-Fi. She's old school, and so I'm just like searching the house for the best place to put my phone to hotspot, and so I found somewhere right at the front of the house that like has a few bars. So I don't know how my internet is, but I wanted to say a huge happy birthday to you, Poppy. How was that the other day?
Happy birthday.
Oh, it was so fun. Thank you. Yeah, it was so much fun. Like, I turned my phone off for the day, and like it was just a big group of us, like all of us in the bush, and we all dressed up in funny costumes and like did like a mini fake festival kind of thing. We just had like music playing and wore ridiculous clothes, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, it looked crazy. The photos
start a new birthday.
Wild. Oh, how fun. Living a life. So a little update from me. Yesterday I drove up the coast to my grandma's house. So I'm like 4 hours from Sydney. So I'm like a little bit closer to you now, Poppy. I reckon we'd only be like hours away from each other.
That's kind of far.
I know, Australia is so big. We're both north of Sydney, but still very far from each other. And my sister and I just wanted a bit of a change of scenery. So she's going to be working from here. I'm going to be doing my work from here, my editing and stuff. And yeah, just hanging out at the beach. And we're going to hike a mountain today and get some fresh air. So that's what's happening in my life at the moment.
Well, you should still look into getting a van and come join the convoy.
Oh my gosh, I literally was looking for like half an hour to an hour yesterday, the vans on that Facebook page and seeing which ones would suit me. I really want to do van life. I think it would be so much fun. But vans,
I think it's what we should do these days.
Yeah, I really, really want to do it and make some content about Australia and drive around. Even if I can only drive around New South Wales, there's like the state that I'm currently in. There would be so much to see and do just here. But the problem is vans are like really expensive if you get a half decent one, especially one that has power and some cooking things.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find. I want to get my own van as well, but it is kind of hard, and there's not actually that many for sale right now. But yeah, power is like the number one thing if we want to make content. So, but yeah, we'll
exactly.
No. Solar panels. So then you're being good to the planet. Really? Yeah, you just put it on top of the car.
All off solar?
Yeah, that's what I've been these days. Yeah, living off solar. We're drinking like water, free spring water. Yeah. Wow. But
has there been any downsides to the van life so far? Like, is there anything you really
so many.
Tell us, please.
Well, first of all, I sleep in a hammock. It's wrecking my back. I slept in a tent last night. No bathrooms. No showers. I took a shower with a bucket, but it was really cold. I think probably, I don't know, there's loads of problems. This is kind of a big one, but we're surrounded by the same people constantly. And, we can't really meet that many people, but I've been with the same people for like 3.5 weeks now. Like, we kind of do get on each other's nerves when you're like buddy to buddy with someone and everybody smells bad and like, and things are always breaking. The van has broken so many times. Actually, it almost broke down permanently one day, like shelves falling off, like something happened last night. Like, no, van life is great, but definitely really hard as well. But it's all right? And then
you see all the glamorous side of van life on Instagram, with these beautiful vans and stuff like that. But you don't think about like the toilet situation. You're not thinking about the power situation and all the realities of life living in a van. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. What's the cooking?
I mean,
who cooks? Where do you cook?
Well, so our truck, like, if you go on my Instagram and check out this truck, because this truck is like the craziest thing. But Instagram is Where's Poppy or Where's That Poppy. But if you go on this, like the truck and the inside, we've got a gas stove. Like it's a proper, really nice gas stove. Some of the other vans, you'll have like portable stoves. So we'll set up tables and we'll cook all together. Yeah. Where I am now, there's like, I don't know, 20 of us, maybe more. So we'll just like do communal meals and we'll just put everything in a pot and cook for everybody, usually for breakfast and dinner. But it depends if we're constantly moving. When you're moving a lot, because then you have to like set up everything everywhere you go. And like, I mean, our vans were not really set up because we weren't planning to leave like this. We left on like less than 24 hours. So the reason I haven't even made a video is because the vans look a mess. Like they're just out of control, like, because we haven't had any time. It's just, go. So
that's intense. It sounds crazy. Would you do it, Collin? Would you do van life?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like that's kind of like maybe after what I'm doing, kind of all, maybe once I outgrow that or something, or maybe a retirement kind of thing. Like, definitely want to get some kind of van or like I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely something I absolutely want to do. And I always said I would either start like a van life channel, a car channel, or like living on a yacht or something.
Good option.
After I get older, maybe when I'm 40 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the next country?
Maybe all three.
Oh yeah, the sky's the limit. you, Colin. Well, I was going to ask, what's the next country on your agenda after you finished with Egypt? Do you have your sights set on a new location?
Yeah. So I have a friend from home that I'm meeting up with. He just put in his notice today at work. So we're trying to, because I'm in Egypt, he's in America. So like I've been reading up every day about like which countries are opening up day by day, and obviously each country has their own restrictions, right? So if I come from Egypt, I might be able to get into one country, whereas he might not be able to get into the country because he's from America, right? We both have American passports, obviously, but it's where you come from prior. So we have the one country that didn't close down is Belarus, and they have no restrictions. So I think we're gonna meet there. Yeah. To be honest, before I've never even heard of the country, to be honest. But
I was gonna say, where is that?
It's right next to Ukraine.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah, we're gonna play it safe and meet there, and then we're gonna travel. We'll stay there for a few weeks or whatever, and then we'll play it by ear as things open up. So, other than that, I'm thinking I'm hoping like Greece opens up, like Portugal, Morocco, like because I want to stay in like this part of the
go to
world
Morocco.
right now, so.
Morocco's
Morocco
awesome.
would be sick.
Yeah.
You've been to
That
Morocco?
was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, that used to be
Really?
my favorite place I'd ever been.
It was my
Poppy, have you
highlight
been to
trip for
Egypt?
the past years.
No, I haven't. I'll have to go one day.
Okay.
A lot of
So
places
you
to
guys
go.
both been to Morocco, not Egypt.
Yeah.
I've been to Egypt. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
It's so fun. And there are so many markets. Like, there are so many markets.
Yeah,
you would
and they're
be
pretty
in heaven.
funny there too with the bargaining. They take it
Really?
personally. Like they're like, oh, don't like if you say I'll promise I'll come back, and they see you on the street, they're gonna be like, you said you're gonna come back. But they're really nice. They'll like bring you in, make you with some fresh Berber tea. Like, I loved it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it's like in Egypt or whether it's a similar vibe, but there are like bazaars that are, square kilometers by square kilometers. Like, you can walk around these bazaars for a week and still have more things to discover. And that's just in one city. And like every city has markets. It was incredible. Like with everything, silver, gold, textiles, rugs. Yeah, it was. I bought so much, and I was like a backpacker. And I really wanted to get one of those I don't know what the technical term for it is, when you put it on the floor and it's kind of like not a bean bag, but it's like more stiff. It's like a little thing that you sit on. Anyway.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those little things. And so I decided to carry it around with me for the rest of my travels. I got one. I was just desperate for it, and now it's in my room.
How long did you carry
What city were you in?
I went to a few cities. I went to most of the big ones in the north. So I went to Casablanca, Tangier, Fez was incredible. I went to Chefchaouen, the Blue City. I'm missing like the big one. I've forgotten the name. But yeah, I went all over. But I would really love to go back and see the High Atlas Mountains. They look absolutely incredible, and also go and see go to the Sahara, because that's also in Morocco. Where did you go, Poppy?
I went to Marrakesh, and then I went to a place called Tagazout, which was it was by the beach and a few hour drive away. It was awesome. I went to a surf camp. Oh my gosh. I would so go again, and I'd do the exact same thing, and I'd do everything you also said too. I love Morocco.
Cool. Surf camp in Morocco. Yeah, no, there's beach there.
Yeah, there's good surf.
How fab. So on that note, I thought I'd take us into our main topic for today's live stream. So we three are going to be chatting about some of the favorite trips we've been on in China, because each of us at some point was living in China or spent time traveling in China. Poppy, do you reckon you could start us off and just tell us, like, generally what your story is with China? Like, where have you lived there? How long were you there?
Yeah, can you just tell me, is the camera shaking? Because I'm shaking. It's
Oh,
really
you poor
cold.
thing.
It's okay.
Just keep yourself warm.
It's not noticed. It's not
I'm
too
so
noticeable.
cold.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
as long as it's not like making people sick, but I'm trying really hard to not shake my hand. Um,
Oh.
oh. Okay, so yeah, I went to China. What year was it? I'm all lost. It might have been 2017. Yeah, I think it was 2017. So I moved to China, to Shenzhen. Never heard of Shenzhen prior, to be honest. Um, but a friend told me about it basically, and I was living in Romania at the time, and I was really lost. Like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm very easily convinced. If somebody tells me a cool idea, I'm like, okay. It doesn't take me
Me too.
long till I buy a flight and I go.
Yeah.
So I bought a flight. Didn't really research anything prior. Went to Shenzhen, which is just right across the border from Hong Kong. And first time I ever got culture shock, which is kind of crazy because I've pretty much actually traveled my whole life. Like my parents, I got my first passport when I was like 4 weeks old and left the country at 6 weeks. So like I've been around, but like I don't know, it was just so different. And maybe because I didn't look up anything, but I was just like, wow, like this is crazy. So it was really cool because I kind of like the uncomfortable and I like being kind of shocked. Like that to me is what's so cool about travel. So I spent a year living in Shenzhen, but then because Shenzhen is by Hong Kong, so you got a big international airport, and then also Shenzhen is a good airport hub as well. I then traveled to maybe 10 cities in China. Like I went did a decent amount in a year. And yeah, my favorite area or province I think was Yunnan. It was so
Yeah.
beautiful over there.
Oh, cool. Well, we're
Yeah.
going to get into more in detail of the places you're going to show us in the stream. Collin, could you give us a brief background on your history with China, like where you were based and stuff like that, where you've
Yeah, all
traveled?
right. Yeah, so I'm from right outside Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've pretty much lived there my whole life, and 2015, well, actually like 2013, 2014, I kind of got the, why don't I just go somewhere and live in a different country kind of thing. I'm sure we've all kind of experienced that.
No.
So I finally made the move at the end of 2015. So I made the move at the end of 2015. I got a job teaching English in a place called, not Wuhan, but a place called Wuhu, which is in Anhui province. Yeah, it's a really, really small city. I think it was like 2 million people. I mean, that seems big, but as we know, living in China, that's a really small city. It was like a tier 88 city, right? And so I taught there. I taught English there, and then I moved on to and taught there, and then eventually I was able to grow, my YouTube channel and do this full time. So yeah,
Awesome.
so ever since I left in 2018 to continue doing like YouTube and everything. So I was there for almost a good 3 years. Definitely missed it. I hope one day to go back. So
Yeah. Is that when you started your channel in China?
no,
Or did you
actually,
already?
because I started my YouTube channel in like 2012, but I did like phone reviews and stuff like that. Like if you go to my older
Yeah.
videos, it's all like Windows. It was like a Windows phone review and things like that. And I liked doing videos. However, I didn't like have a passion to do phone reviews,
Yeah.
right? So I was thinking, I was like, what do I want to do? Like I've never actually like traveled outside of America before. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take the jump. And so doing YouTube was half of the reason why I even left in the first place, is because I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna take my chance. If I don't do what I want to do with YouTube, then at least I moved to a different country and experienced a different country. My backup plan for YouTube, like YouTube's always been like a dream for me, right? To be able to work on YouTube. My backup plan was at least to gain enough skills filming, editing, being on camera to where if YouTube didn't work out, hopefully I can just get a job at like a company, right, and do videos there
Yeah.
for them. And actually, I did a job. Poppy and I kind of worked for them. Career China, shout out. We worked for them. Poppy did more like freelancing videos. Yeah, and yeah, so it was like as soon as I got that job, 1 month later, my YouTube channel just like blew up. So it was just like, all right, I got to go now.
Yeah. That's super interesting because Colin, you have so many subscribers. Did you find that it all came from mostly one video, or has it just been like a steady increase since that initial boost? Like how did it all come to you?
Yeah. I'm going to say it wasn't one video, but it was obviously the niche that I found with the markets.
Yeah.
Before I did the market stuff, I was doing, like day in the life of an English teacher in China, things like that. It was like more like a little 5-7 minute videos or whatnot. And I did the faith market, and like that did really well for my channel, and it kind of made my channel grow. So I was like, you know what? I can either continue doing this because I still like to do this, right? Or I can, continue doing like teaching videos or whatever. So I just stuck with the bargaining markets and just stuck with that and trying to grow my editing skills, my filming skills, and everything with that. So
that's so cool.
That's the story, really. So
yeah.
So there was one video, obviously the Beijing one, that I got the most like subscribers out of. But it's been pretty consistent ever since then. So
awesome. Oh, cool beans. Well, shall we get more into detail on the places that we love visiting in China? Poppy, we might start with you. I'm going to share my screen here and get to these beautiful photos that you have shared with me. Okay, so this is Poppy's beautiful photos.
Thank you.
So where is this, Poppy?
Okay, hopefully people don't get mad at me for how my pronunciation goes, but that's in Lijiang. That's in Yunnan. That was a beautiful little town. And so that's down one of like the shopping streets, I believe. I know it's like, so in Lijiang, you've got like the ancient town. It's really touristy, to be fair, but I would say it's like mostly Chinese tourists, which is kind of cool. It's just different than if you went to like Beijing or Shanghai, where you're going to see a lot of foreign tourists. Like these are a lot of Chinese tourists, and it's really small, like narrow alleyway, so kind of like hutongs, and it all kind of looks like that. It's all really decorated and colorful. I would say going around sunset was the best, because then it's just like really beautiful colors, and at night everything lights up. And so it's like this ancient town surrounded by kind of like more regular style buildings on the outside. And that's what's that called? Oh boy.
Is it like the Snow Jade Mountain or the Snow Dragon Mountain? Jade. I went there once.
You're on it. Yeah.
I had the same impression as you. The town itself was quite touristy, beautiful but touristy, and this was the incredible view that I remember.
This was crazy, and this is right by the ancient town, and you can do like a hike. You hike up to this mountain, and you have a whole view of the whole place, and then you get stuff like that where you kind of get a break from the busyness, and it's so pretty.
Oh my gosh! So what else did you do in Lijiang? Like, was there any like interesting food you ate there, or like what did you like about being here?
So honestly, and okay, here's a shout out. The place where I stayed, this hostel called October Inn. And I'm blanking on the really nice man's name, but of the owner. Maybe it was Tom. I think it was Tom. But actually that kind of made my experience there, because basically at this hostel, like he's a local guy from Chongqing, I believe, and he makes meals for you. If you have to pay for them, obviously, but they do family style meals every night. So you eat with like him and his family, and like they make traditional like local food. So actually we didn't really eat much in the town, because it was like, well, let's have local food and like talk about whatever China. And so I kind of just he actually is one who gave me all the recommendations of where to go. So my experience there was like eating and walking around the town and just kind of looking around. And I did buy a lot of things. I never buy things when I travel because I don't have anywhere to put it. But in Lijiang, like the stuff they had there, I never really saw anywhere else in China. Like it was just so cute. Like I just I bought a lot of things. So I probably should have worked on my bargaining skills there, because I was definitely lost a lot of money.
Colin, where were you?
Yeah, I need some help.
I don't
My
know.
spending habits get out of control.
I think you got it. You just got to be confident.
I know you told me a tip once. You were like, whatever you want to pay, go lower than that. And then if whatever happens, it'll like get back up to the price you want. And then also always go like a third of the price. That's kind of what you told me.
Oh,
So I
okay.
do try to apply that. But I don't know, you
Yeah.
stay so calm and collected, and then they end up laughing with you, and you make everybody, like, it's a great time. And with me, I'm kind of like, I get butthurt when I feel like they're ripping me off, and I just don't, it doesn't have the same vibe. So, yeah, I need some
Yeah,
help.
it's all about the mindset going into it, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I try to like. That's what I try to like show throughout like me bargaining is to show people like just smile and like act aloof.
Yeah.
Act like you're the dumb tourist, like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
like
you
oh,
do
I
that
didn't
so
know what
well.
this is. They're like, oh, you want these Nike shoes? What's Nike? Like, you know, it works. It helps too.
Oh.
So,
Do you? Okay, I actually have a question for you, Colin. I have a question.
Yeah.
If you can speak the local language, like I can speak a bit of Chinese, if I was to bust that out, how can I use that to my advantage to get a better price? Like, do you know if that would work? Whether they don't care.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I don't know too much Chinese, but like one thing that always kind of shook people, I guess, is like I'd be bargaining with them, right? Like say if I'm in like Shanghai, and then like halfway through the bargain, I'll start speaking of like a few Chinese numbers and be like, you know Chinese? And I'll be like, yeah, I live here. Like they expected like I was just like fresh off the plane tourist, right? But then all of a sudden you hit them with you know, with Chinese and like it shocks them and it kind of like, you know, shakes it up a little bit. So it definitely would help you if you did that.
Okay. I try, but I'm the same as Poppy. I feel I don't know. I never know when to like, you know, go a bit harder and just really fight for my price, and I end up just being like, oh, whatever.
It definitely takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice. I can tell you that.
I think something good you do though is you laugh. Like I don't know, you like take what they're saying as a joke when they're like 500. You're like, come on, like when it should be 20, you know. But you really make it like a joke.
Yeah.
So then they start laughing. Like I need to get on that level because then like because you helped me get like a suitcase one time and like it turned into like a great time. But the guy was kind of a jerk at first, and then at the end he's like laughing and smiling because I don't know what you said, but like, you just turn it around. Everybody's happy. Even when you're asking for no money, everybody loves you. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just you just got to go into it thinking it's a game. It really is a game. That's all it is. You know.
Yeah. Oh, that's that. I need to put those to use. There's a couple of markets in Sydney actually that you can bargain at. So maybe I'll try and like use these new tips there when I go next time.
Yeah, I was actually meaning to ask you about that because I wanted to one day come to Australia.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, come to Oz.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. You should totally come. I wouldn't say that like every street that you go to, you're going to be confronted with a situation where you can bargain. I would say that in Sydney, there's like someone in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong, but like I'd say there's one in like central Sydney, like a Paddy's Markets where you can go and haggle and there's a whole lot of different things. And that's really big actually. And then I think in some other suburbs, you can also find some bargaining opportunities, but I wouldn't say it's like, oh, you're in Australia, like go down this street and there'll be like markets and stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe I'm not very experienced with that arena. So maybe there is. Maybe Australia is the market paradise of the world.
Well, if you have a Chinatown, which I assume you do, that's like the go-to. Go to any Chinatown around the world and you'll be able to bargain.
And maybe try Melbourne, because Melbourne's Chinatown. That's the best Chinatown I think I've ever been to. Like it's really authentic. But that's partly why I moved to Melbourne at one point, because I was like, oh, they have like real bubble tea. Not that I can have that because I'm tolerant to milk, but they have like and you can even pay with WeChat. They take Chinese currency. Like, trust me, they're on it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Then they just send it back home.
And what?
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying with WeChat, it's easy just to send money back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Chinese, you know.
Yeah. You get it.
Okay. More about
get it.
where this place is. Here. Where is this? Your next place that you wanted to share with us?
Yeah. So was that my next place? I had one more, I think. It's basically the same area.
No,
it's just
same area.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't really pick one or the other because they're just 1 hour drive difference. So I kind of just want to put them into one. This is Shashi, if I say that right.
Yeah.
Shaxi. This place was awesome. It was super small ancient town that you could walk in like maybe not even 20 minutes, but it's like surrounded by these beautiful mountains, and you've got water and a cool bridge, and it's just like there's basically nobody there. That looks like it too. Is that a photo?
Yeah, I got a photo of it.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Did you take
no, that's
exactly how it looks too. Yeah, so you've got
I
like
found that off the
cobblestone
internet.
street.
I just wanted to add.
It honestly kind of looks like a fairy tale. Like it looks like a fairy tale, like where princes and princesses would live. Like it's so cute. You've got really cute cafes, and you've got like horses walking around, carriages, and it's like you've been traveling back in time. And that's like the idea of it. It's kind of like you've gone back in time to the I almost just said Yellow Brick Road. Whoa, it's way too early.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Sorry.
I went there when I was doing some travels in Yunnan, back when I was first in China. And I went from Kunming to Dali to Shashi to Lijiang, and then up into the Tiger Leaping Gorge. And I remember when I was in Shashi, there was we were walking along the riverside, and there was a group of people doing just like a bonfire. And so we just joined them, and we spent like 5 hours just like roasting marshmallows and other
so cool.
Chinese snacks by the river. It was so much fun. I have really good memories from there. It's such a beautiful little town.
That's really
and
cool.
I think anyone who goes to Lijiang should definitely check out Shaxi.
Yeah.
Did you also go to the Tiger Leaping Gorge while you were in the area, Poppy?
Yes. Yeah. I did that, I think, right before Shashi or maybe after it. Shashi's kind of like a good place to relax.
Yeah.
Like you go there for like a day or two. I think I went there for 4, but and you just kind of relax and don't really do anything. But yes, I did the Tiger Leaping Gorge, which was awesome. I did it by myself, which is cool to know that you don't need to go with anybody because you meet a lot of people on this trek. It's a 2-day walking trek. I did the full 2 days. So you walk, you just have beautiful views of the mountains, and then you stay overnight in a hostel with all the people you meet. And it's like you hike. At least I met locals and foreigners, but you did it as well.
Yeah, I really loved the Tiger Leaping Gorge. I went, it was raining, but I think the Tiger Leaping Gorge is one of those places that looks beautiful no matter what kind of temperature or weather condition is going on. Like I've seen it in the snow, it's beautiful in the spring, in the summer, in the autumn. When it's raining, it was like super misty and like mysterious. Actually, my cover image on my YouTube channel, that's me at the Tiger Leaping Gorge. And I use that photo for everything because it's just such a dramatic scenery. I loved it. And I remember where I stayed, it was this place called Halfway House or Half.
Yeah,
it was
too.
like a
yeah.
And it's like in the middle of the trek. So you kind of trek up, you stay there, and then the next day you trek back down. And do you remember the bathroom from that hostel? Like, do you remember how? So it just looks out onto this amazing gorge. I remember just like going into the bathroom, and there's no wall.
Yeah.
You just have this view, like the most dramatic toilet view I've ever seen in my life. It was incredible.
But all the rooms were like that too. Yeah, everywhere was just like a view of the mountains. Yeah, I remember when I walked into one room and I was like, whoa, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so beautiful.
That trek is great too. Also to know like it's not even just about the gorge. Like it's the whole journey. Like the entire hike is just beautiful views. Like even when you get to the end, it's kind of like, what was the whole experience? But yeah, definitely recommend it. Yeah. I'm sure you recommend it.
Have you been, Collin, to Yunnan or to any of the places we just mentioned?
No, but I've heard about the beauty of Yunnan. That's definitely on top of my list. That and like Chongqing. I want to go to Chongqing as well. But yeah, Yunnan and Chongqing are probably the top of my list right now.
Yeah, both beautiful places. I went back last year to do more exploration of Yunnan. So I did more of the south and like tea growing regions. And oh my gosh, I fell in love with Yunnan even more. I've been to Chongqing 4 times. Chongqing's one of my favorite cities in the world. It's so vibrant. Like, and, pardon me?
Oh, I just said, what do you like about Chongqing?
Oh man, I love so many things. I love how crazy busy it is in the center. It's just so many people. I think Chongqing has like 30 million people population, but it's also like really spread out. Like it's a huge city area wise. I love the food. It's the home to Chongqing hot pots. So I just love the social environment that you just see a hot pot restaurant on every corner, and you've got, you know, all the regulars sitting down and eating and sharing food. And it's also surrounded by a lot of really natural scenery as well, a lot of mountains. So I found it like a really dramatic landscape. Actually, you'd be in the city, you see all of these crazy big skyscrapers, but then the backdrop is always mountains, and you've got the Yangtze River as well. Yeah, beautiful.
And it's super
really
green
beautiful city,
too.
actually. Yeah, would recommend. Yeah.
Oh,
sorry, what'd you say, Colin?
Sorry. I think my thing's a little behind. That's the place with the train that goes through the building, right? Where people, like, they live in that high rise. And then, yeah. That's insane. Like, I want to ride
so
that. That looks so cool. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live there, that's for sure, because when you come off at the station, which is actually like inside that building, whenever a train comes, the building really does rattle. But it's very cool to be there's like this viewing platform and everything. It's like a very famous attraction now in Chongqing, and everyone's just waiting for the train to go through the building. It's nuts. So random.
Is that crazy? That's awesome.
Well, you know, it's not like the craziest thing I've seen in my life. It's not like my mind is blown, but it's like, oh, that's cool. That's interesting to see that. I made a video on it. So if you're interested, you can either just YouTube it in general, or you can go visit. But yeah, it's so fun. Chongqing is a really fun city. Yeah. Feel free. And everyone who's watching, you can also watch that as well.
Shout out video integration.
Plug myself. Yeah. Oh, Poppy, can you tell us about this place?
Yeah, so that's in Beijing. That's my second favorite place. That's the Great Wall, obviously. But yeah, so I was recommended to do this thing called Great Wall Fresh, which is this family-run company who basically takes you on tours to see the wall, but it's not the touristy part of the wall like most people go to bottling. Yeah. And that's where the wall's been like pieced back together, and it's like really nice and lots and lots of tourists. I've never been there, but what I'm told, it's like impossible to get a photo without somebody in it. So I didn't want to do that. Yeah. So I went to Great Wall Fresh. So this family picks you up from the train station. It's just like one train station past bottling, and he picks you up. I think it was called Yanking. He picks you up from the train station. You go, and we had this like older woman, look like, I don't know, maybe she was in her 60s or something, and like take us up the wall, which is kind of a hard hike up to the top of this. And the whole time you're hiking, you don't think a single person, at least we didn't. Wow. And you're just walking around this, like, it's just exactly how it looks like that. And it's just beautiful. And yeah, that was just amazing. And so you're hiking along there. This woman's just showing you around. You can take as many photos as you want. And then at the end, whenever you want to leave, or we stayed until the sun went down, you go back and they make you family style dinner. And then we stayed at their house. You have the option to actually sleep on the wall if you want. You can camp. It was too cold, so we didn't do that. Yeah, preferred to be warm. But yeah, how crazy would it be? You could just wake up in the morning and be on the wall. Like, I don't know, sounds a lot cooler to me than just the traditional way. So yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite things that I did.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Yeah, I actually went live a few weeks ago with Rachel Meets China, and she is like the expert on the Great Wall, and she was sharing with us all of these different sections that I've never heard of before. Like, I've been to the Great Wall a few times because I usually had like visitors coming and like seeing me in Beijing, so I would always take them to the wall. But like some of the things that she's experienced on this wall is crazy. And that the section you're showing us here just looks so cool. Like just not the section that most people would have a chance to see if they just went to the normal section. It's almost like better to go there. I feel like it looks more authentic. Like that's unrestored.
That's the point. And it's all like that. And I've seen Rachel's photos too. She's got I've seen, like, she's always in this red dress. I think she has like a photo in a red dress and there's like snow on the wall. I'm like, oh, you're so cold, but that looks so sick.
I know.
The things you do for
so
videos
good.
and photos, but
have you been? Have you been to the Great Wall, Collin?
No, I haven't, and I've lived in Beijing too.
Don't
ask me why I haven't. I just haven't. I think like I absolutely need to go. I'm kind of mad at myself that I haven't gone yet. So
we'll take you one day. It'll be fun. I've never camped on the wall. It's something I've always wanted to do. Wake up and see the sunrise on the Great Wall, and definitely will be making that trip one day when I get to go back.
Gotta do
maybe
it in
next
summer then.
Yeah. I just want to shout out a couple.
All go to the Great Wall and sleep there.
I'm gonna bring a group. We'll be like a little mosh pit of people just sleeping on the Great Wall.
Yeah, Collin, you bargained for some good tents, and I'll bring, I don't know.
You got it. You bring the van with the solar panel.
I'll ship my van from Australia that I don't even own yet, but I'll have my own one soon. Yep.
Oh my gosh, driving to China, that would
cave.
be.
Drive the whole Great Wall.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I've just been reading a book about that exact topic. There's an author called Peter Hessler, and he has a really great series of books about China. His book Rivertown is incredible. It's about being like a foreigner in China and some of his thoughts, and I felt like I could really relate to him on so many levels. But the book I just finished is called Country Driving, and it's about him doing this massive road trip as a foreigner, following the Great Wall from Beijing until its very reaches in like Gansu province. It's fascinating to hear about what it's like to drive in China in general, and then wherever he goes, there's this, like a view of the Great Wall. I don't know if I'd have the guts to drive in China, but it sounds like a cool concept. Would you dare?
I'll be the driver.
Would you do it, Collin?
Yeah, I'll
you be the driver.
You guys just cook or something.
Awesome.
Okay, we'll cook, we'll clean, we'll make the sandwiches. All right, I get it.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
No, that sounds fun. Let's do it. I'm so excited to go. Just go anywhere. Oh my god, I'm so keen. Just the thought of it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Great Wall. Must see place in China. Collin, I want you to tell us about where this is.
All right, this is it's called Huangshan. I don't know if I said it right, but it translates to Yellow Mountain. It's in Anhui province, and I guess the biggest city in Anhui province is Hefei, where I lived as well. Just to get an idea, it's like 3 hours by train directly directly west from Shanghai. So this is, okay, could you go back to the other photo? Is that possible? Okay, so that tree in the background, so this is at the peak of the Yellow Mountain, and what like the main like draw to this mountain is that tree in the background. It grows out of a rock, and it's like over 800 years old apparently. So that's just what I've heard. I don't know if it's like Chinese folklore or if it's actually true. Who knows? But that's the main draw of this mountain, and this is the peak of the mountain right here. I think this is like my second or third month in China, and it was a really, really beautiful place to go, and like it was my first mountain I've ever climbed. It's really not really much else to say, but there's that tree right there.
It's beautiful. It's so pretty. I had always wanted to go to Huangshan myself, and I finally got a chance, and I actually went with my dad one year. And this is what it's meant to look like. And but when my dad and I went, it was raining the whole time. Apparently, you have to be very lucky to see Huangshan on a good day. It rains.
It was raining the whole time as well. That's why I had that like purple thing on my,
Yeah.
Is it not the same place with the floating mountains? Is that different? Or is
that's jumping.
That's different.
That's in a different
because it looks kind of similar. Okay.
It does. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
a lot of the mountains kind of have a similar feel. Huashan also looks very similar to Huangshan here. But yeah, when I went to Huangshan, not only was it cloudy, we couldn't see a thing, but when we went, it literally looked like this. It was on a public holiday, which I have learned never travel in China anywhere on a public holiday, because walking up this mountain was just essentially like standing in line for like the longest line in history. It was actual torture. It was horrible.
Did you see those when you went? Did you see those workers who like carry like a bed for people, like old people, and like they carry them down?
I've seen stuff like that, so you don't have to walk.
Yeah. That.
Oh no, I never saw that.
When I first saw that, I thought like people like paid extra to feel like royalty for that. But then like I realized it was, as I saw more and more, it was all like elderly people. And I was like, oh, I get it now. It's because they just physically can't do it anymore. Like,
yeah.
But
like, I can understand why people would, because it's really hard to climb some of these mountains. It's very steep in parts. And the thing I find craziest is whenever I go, no matter where I go, no matter what time of day, no matter what time of year, there are always ladies who insist on wearing their high heels to climb mountains in China.
Or suits, like really nice clothes.
I'm here in like my full-on trekking gear. I've got my trekking boots and like all of like the necessary things to climb a mountain. And then there's a lady looking like she's walked off the cover of a magazine, and I'm like, how are you doing this?
Yeah, I've seen this too, and I'm like, I don't understand.
You know what it probably is they take the lift all the way up and probably just do it just for like a photo shoot kind of thing.
No, I've seen people hike like that too.
Actually climbing.
And I've been
Really?
Yeah, I have, and I'm like, I don't understand. I'm dripping sweat here, like, and you're looking all real nice. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. I reckon it must be on some level for the photos, maybe. Maybe someone in the chat has a better idea of why people do this, because it's really, like, I can't think of something more uncomfortable than walking up a mountain in high heels, but maybe it will make a really good photo at the top. I have no idea.
But you could bring your clothes in a bag and change. That's what I would do.
Also true. I don't get it. But that's one of the things I found fascinating traveling China, that no matter where I go, no matter how out of the way it is, there are always people there wearing their Sunday best when I'm just like slopping it in my like trekking shoes and backpack. I'm like, am I doing something wrong, or should I have tried more? I don't know. So Poppy, those are your two oh wait, no, that's Colin's place. Collin, you still have one more place. Can you tell us about what this is here?
Okay, so what you're seeing right here is, let me explain before I tell you. So this is, it's called Thames Town. So if you're from the UK, you know what, like the Thames River or whatever. Basically, this is a ghost town, but this isn't the ghost town in the sense of like the American Western ghost towns where people have lived in this town and then all of a sudden it's abandoned. This is the opposite, where they build up these towns in hopes of, I don't know, investors and like just pretty much to stimulate the economy or whatever. So this is the Thames Town. It's a British ghost town, and it's not like as you can see, you guys, the architecture isn't like the typical Chinese high rises. This is an actual like closed off compound. It feels more like a tourist attraction, like the Epcot Center, something like that. So basically what happens is I know in Shanghai there's like a good 9 ghost towns at least, and each one is has its own theme. So the previous one was Thames Town, so like a UK London kind of vibe to it. They have like a German, they have an Italian town, they have like a Spanish town. Like I don't know, it's crazy. And it's like I said, they're built up, but nobody usually lives in them, or very few people live in them, or they use them as a summer home or an investment vehicle, right? So it's very interesting to go explore because you can just walk into like these like they have shops there, but they're not real shops. Like they're just like they have the windows and everything. You walk in and it's like nothing, right? It's just an empty building.
So
So
I'm
that
so
was very
confused.
interesting.
Like, so they've built.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
these ghost towns have been built for what purpose? And like, why is there no one there? Did they assume that people would come there, or have they just been built for the future? Like, why does this happen?
I think a little of everything. What I've heard was they're initially built to not provide jobs or something. Just, I don't know, just to stimulate like the workforce or the economy or whatever. Obviously,
Yeah.
they would want people to move into them, but they usually get bought up by investors looking to make profits in the future. So
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
it's a very strange concept, but it's very cool
Yeah.
to go explore. So
Yeah.
there was, excuse me. So typically they're used as like a backdrop for weddings, pretty much.
Yeah.
If you go into any of these towns, you'll see 5 to 10 groups of like people taking photos for weddings and they're in their wedding gowns and whatnot. So very strange and interesting concept. And actually, have you heard of the place? It's not near Beijing, but it's like up there in the Mongolian area, I think. It's a city called Ordos.
Oh wait, no.
Have you heard of Ordos?
Yeah.
O-R-D-O-S?
I've never heard of it. No.
I think people live there now, but many years ago it was like literally just YouTube Ordos, China after this, and it's like mind blowing. It's the world's biggest ghost town. It's like they have these massive statues and like everything, and like barely nobody lives there. It's very, very interesting concept. And actually, a few years ago, I was about to move there just to make a series about just to make a series about living in a ghost town, pretty much. I thought that would have been very.
That would be
fun.
so interesting.
However,
yeah,
I think I would have went insane. The lack of human contact. So.
Yeah, I didn't know that Shanghai had what, 8? You said 8 ghost towns. That's crazy. The only ghost town I heard, at least 9. That's like I had no idea that was even a thing. I need to go check that out when I'm back. I definitely, things I have seen in China is going on a bullet train through the countryside, and then suddenly seeing like huge like blocks of units in the middle of nowhere, and no one is living in them. I always find that very interesting.
Yeah.
Also, another ghost town I've heard of is in Tianjin, and they built like a replica of Manhattan, like a kind of like a Wall Street type vibe, and no one went there for years. Yeah, I actually have a photo here. Let me see if I can share it. I just found one.
They have an Eiffel Tower too. Have you heard of the Eiffel Tower one?
Where's that?
The one in Shenzhen.
I've seen Shenzhen's one.
I forgot where it is.
There's one in Shenzhen, but it's more of like an amusement park.
Yeah, I went to that amusement park last year. So random. Went up the Eiffel Tower. I saw all the sights of the world in one day. I was like, why do I ever need to travel when I can just come to the amusement park? Crazy. Yeah, I have all this footage of that amusement park. So if I run out of content here in Australia, I might make a video about it.
There you go.
But so wow, such a strange concept, these ghost towns. Thanks for sharing that with us, Collin.
Yeah, I definitely recommend going to them because it's just so like it's a little bit eerie, it's a little bit cool, it's just like very strange. And it's very
Did you go by yourself?
I just highly recommend it. Yeah.
Okay. Does that contribute to the whole experience then?
Yeah, they're usually on like the outskirts of the city. You're not gonna find this like anywhere near the center. So I had to like take a subway. It was like over an hour long to get here to this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long way away. Cool. Well, I thought I would share a couple of places as well while we're here. So I want to share with you guys one of the coolest trips I did. This was in 2014. I went to Western Sichuan. So this is near a town called Tagong, right in Western Sichuan. Really, really interesting and colorful place. Like and it had such amazing saturated color. Like this is literally no filter. It actually looks like that. Yeah, so basically, there's a lot of Tibetan influence because it's pretty much on the border of Tibet. So I've never actually been to Tibet. I would love to go. It's one of the places I've always wanted to see, and I'm very jealous of your videos, Poppy. Saw all of your amazing travels there. So one day I will make the trip, but this is like the closest I came to ever being in Tibet, and all the signs. I don't know if you can see it. For some reason for here, it's not in that, but you can see a lot of Tibetan influence here. And usually the signs were in Chinese and Tibetan, which I found really interesting. And I stayed in like this building here. I think that was like my hostel thing. And that's what the room looked like. I've never seen a hotel room, hostel room like it. It was so extra. It was so
that does remind me of Tibet.
Yeah. So yeah. That's interesting to hear because I've never been there and I'm not too familiar with the culture and everything. But
that's like exactly so how like a family, like an actual local house, not exactly, but same kind of setup and style. That's cool.
Interesting to hear that. So that was really cool to stay in that. And then we went. So these are the grasslands, and I joined this like horse trekking tour to like go out, and so it's my first time riding a horse and I just couldn't get over the scenery. Like, look at that. Crazy. So we were riding these horses, essentially in the middle of nowhere. And actually it really helped having the horses because it was at very high altitude. I think we were at like 3,500 to 4,000 meters above sea level. And I was really feeling some altitude kind of, you wouldn't want to be climbing up one of these hills. So having the horses really helped in that regard. So I was happy for that.
Like 15,000 feet, right? What is that?
I have no idea.
What is that?
I think.
I don't know. I'm not good
more
at that.
feet.
I think it's like 15. I have no idea. That was just a guess. Oh, okay, it's really high.
No idea. Look, here we go. I'll do the 3,500 meters to feet.
America needs to get on the metric
so,
system.
11,400 feet, if that helps.
Okay, not 15,000. That's way too high, but 11,000 is still high. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's like the height of
it wasn't like
okay.
It wasn't intense altitude sickness or anything. And I don't think I'd even call it altitude sickness. It was just like if I was to climb a mountain, I would feel it was significantly harder. Yeah. But when we were trekking, we kind of came across this hut of Tibetan nomads. And we stayed with them for the night, which was really, really cool. Yeah. So we just said to the it was actually a really weird decision to make. Because we just told the horse trekking crew that we had come with, like, we'll make our way back tomorrow, like it'll be fine, we'll just walk back or whatever. The thing is, there are no roads. So anyway, long story short, we ended up getting super lost on the way back. And I had to like hitch a ride from someone on a bike to the main city to like get a truck to come and pick us up. So this was crazy. This is what it looked like inside.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I want to do that.
It was so cool. It was so cool.
What kind of food did they? What kind of food?
So in this area, it's mostly they live off yaks. So everything is like yak's milk, yak's cheese, yak meat. I had like 5 yak burgers when I was in this area. So this was this is our breakfast. It was a type of yak milk and yak yogurt, yak cheese mix. I ate it. I didn't think anything about it, but the thing is, my stomach isn't so used to eating, old yak cheese, yak milk. All of us that ate this was horribly, horribly food poisoned for like a really long time.
Right.
So, moral of the story: if you do go and like stay here, don't eat the porridge. Don't eat mac cheese. It was so
Good to know.
yeah, that was really, really bad food poisoning. But yeah, it was really cool experiencing this side of life. The scenery was absolutely incredible. You can see some yaks in the background there, and it's probably like my favorite trip, one of my favorite memories and most beautiful trips I've been on, regardless of the food poisoning.
Nice.
And this is my second place I wanted to share. This is my last trip I went to in China, actually, at the beginning of this year. So I had to leave because of the outbreak of coronavirus. But before I had to leave, I got to experience this city called Jilin and these beautiful, it's called rime scenery. And it happens, so this is the rhymes. It's like all these frozen kind of, I don't know how you'd even explain it. So every branch is like covered with ice. And it happens because there's this river that doesn't freeze over because there's an electric power plant upriver. So it makes the river always flow, even through the dead of winter. And then the vapor from that river rises up because of the cold from the river, and it meets the trees, and then it solidifies on the trees and turns to ice. So in very special conditions, you can discover these rhymes. And I was very lucky to be able to see it for myself. And it was crazy. It was like this absolute winter wonderland. I don't know if there's anywhere else in the world. Colin or Poppy, have you ever seen anything like this anywhere else in the world? Like, I don't know if this is like a normal thing. But for me, it was very exciting.
Maybe I've seen something like it. Like, it looks like just like a bunch of icicles, but are those the branches? Yeah.
They're the branches, yeah. So they're all the branches.
Yeah, I have not seen
just
that.
like covered in a little layer of ice. It was so cool.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So I would really recommend anyone. And I was so cold. It was like minus 15 degrees during the day.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to get a drone.
Right there.
Yeah, right. Crazy. I've never experienced anything like it. And I wanted to get a drone shot because I was like, how cool would a drone shot be right now, this environment? So I took the drone up, and it lasted a good 10 seconds before the battery died because of the cold. But still got a shot. And then this was the coolest part of the day. So after I went to the Rhymes, I went to this hot springs in also in Jilin, on the outskirts of Jilin. And it was so crazy, bathing in these scalding hot pools in like minus 15-degree temperatures. It was like the most beautiful, incredible, weirdest body experience ever. Like, I've never done that kind of hot, cold.
Yeah, that sounds so
It was awesome.
Nice.
It was such a fun experience. So, yeah, I would recommend people, if they have the chance, to go to Jilin and experience that for themselves. That was a really cool trip. Oh, yeah, those are some of the trips that I've taken that had a really strong impression on me. And now hearing all your stories and looking over my photos, I just want to go back so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully sometime soon ish we can all travel.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We will. It will go back at some point. It may be a year until we can do so, but yeah, for the moment, I'm pretty happy in Sydney and being with my family. And I had to do like quite a big. I don't know about you guys and how this has all affected you, but for me, my content is usually of me traveling around China and finding myself in the situation where I'm not going to be able to do that for a really long time. I have to shift and like make some kind of different content to what I usually do. So that's been an interesting adventure for me, finding different things to film. But it's good that Sydney has like such a array of different Asian cultures and a big Chinese immigrant population. So I'm not starved for content there, which is good. But how has all of the last 5 months influenced you guys as content creators? I would love to hear how you've been dealing with it.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, I just want to say, I watch your Instagram stories when you make like cooking videos, and I really like those. You like do a lot of like, I'm cooking a spicy chili oil, or I made like these dumplings, like, cause I love Chinese food, so I'll watch that. Like, I don't actually go cook it myself because I'm lazy, but I'm like, that looks really good.
I'm glad you like it. I've
so
been
maybe
enjoying
do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I'll keep looking into, especially if we end up going into lockdown again, because that kind of means that it's a way for me to make content about China, stuff that I enjoy filming. I've really been getting into Chinese cooking, but also from home. So yeah, that's something I'll definitely look into more.
I mean, I enjoyed it. Or even you, like, now I sound like a stalker, but you're like even like showing off your teas, like, yeah, I'm out of queer tea or whatever, something like that.
Yeah,
you could do that. Content for me, well, I haven't posted any. But yeah, I'm just kind of doing the same thing. I think I need to take a different approach now because I usually try to, if I can, focus on other people and locals, but we can't really be doing that these days. So my content is gonna just go straight into van life when I get some power. I think the first video I make, I'm gonna show this truck. That's gonna be crazy. And then I'm looking to buy my own van because I need some personal space. And I need to sleep in my own bed. So when I do that, then I'm pretty much just gonna be filming van life adventures and just the craziness of it, and probably focusing on not really having money, because I feel like there's a lot of van content which I like to watch. Like, don't get me wrong, because it looks glorious, but like it looks really nice. Like they've got this really beautiful decked out van, and it's like it's not unrealistic because obviously they're living it, but I don't know that I will ever get there. And like it's a pretty messy my van life situation, but it's pretty funny and pretty ridiculous, and I just want to try to capture that and capture like everything breaking and all the money that we lose. Like our fridge broke the other day, so all our food went bad. That sucks. Like
so stressful. I would love to say if you could document the process of you getting that van and like making it livable and doing everything up, because myself, I'm looking to do the exact same thing on a budget. I don't want to blow 15K on a van that I use for a year and then just sell. So yeah, I'm super interested to see your content. We miss you.
I'll be back soon.
Yeah, but back and better than ever. Can't wait to see that. What about you, Collin? How has the whole coronavirus and just like crazy world situation affected you and your channel? Like, yeah, just run us through that.
Yeah, it didn't really affect it too much, except for I just wasn't able to release as much. I had went home in December. So I was like living in Thailand and whatnot. And then, so I was home December to like February. And right before like all this kicked off, I had went to London, and then from London to Egypt, where I am now. And literally the day I landed in Egypt, not the day, maybe like 2-3 days before is when they locked down, because as soon as I got here, I made sure to go to the pyramids. And then like right after that, it locked down. So luckily I was able, because I had like I did a video in London from the previous year. So I was able to edit that video because I never edited it. And so then I did like a top 5 or top 4 bargains video. And now I just released an Egypt video not too long ago. So now I'm working on my next Egypt video. So I'm hoping that after this next one, I can it's going to be, I'm going to be traveling to wherever is open pretty much. I'm going to be looking at the map every day, like, if this country's opening, let's go there.
Yeah.
So,
I'm looking forward to seeing all your content.
Yeah, I wasn't able to like release as much, but I was able to at least continue doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
no, that's good to know that like you still have the options for your content and it hasn't, affected you detrimentally. Like, it's a bad time for a lot of people in the world, and I guess travel vloggers is one of the professions that is kind of being hit.
To travel.
It's interesting seeing like other travel vloggers and how they've like dealt with it, because like I've been following ever since like popped off. I've been like following closely like other people who are in the genre, and like everybody went home and whatnot. And now I've seen like 3 or 4 channels go to Mexico from the United States. So there's a lot of people in Mexico right now because they're open.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I hope that everyone out there is staying safe and healthy.
Yeah, it's starting to seem like it's getting a little better, at least.
That's good. Yeah. I just wanted to shout out 2 super chats that just came in. There's one person that is asking, have we been to Hainan or Yalong Bay before? I have been to Hainan, but not Yalong Bay. How about you, Poppy? How about you, Collin?
No.
Yes, I've been
Sorry.
to Hainan. Yalong Bay, isn't that in Hainan? Am I getting confused?
I guess Yalong Bay sounds like Ha Long Bay, which is in Vietnam. I have been to Ha Long Bay in Vietnam, but not a Yalong Bay. But I have been
think
to
I'm
Hainan.
confused.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah, I've
was
been to
thinking,
Hainan
too.
or Hainan.
Yeah, yeah. Well, cool. So I guess none of us have been to Yalong Bay, but maybe one day. And also thank you. Oops. Thank you, Tuan, for your super chat. Thanks for the compliment also. I'll just have a look at the chat and see if there are any last minute questions that we can address before we say goodbye for today. And I'll let you guys get back to your lives. For you, Poppy, it's very early. We got up at 7 a.m. for this stream. And Colin, for you, it's what, 12 a.m., 12:15?
It's midnight, yeah, 12:15.
Yeah.
But I pretty much slept
No,
all
but this
day.
worked out well. If it was warmer, I wouldn't be complaining, but that's fine.
Yeah, I wonder what's worse, being cold doing van life or being hot doing van life. I'd
rather
argue
be
that
hot.
cold is.
I'd rather be hot.
Oh, really?
I'd rather be cold.
No.
I think I'd rather be cold as well because I feel like you can put on extra clothes, you can like sleep with the doonas, but in summer, like, is there aircon in these vans? I don't think so.
Yeah, you can. If you get solar panels, you can do whatever you want. Or I mean, you can plug it into certain campsites, but no, I mean, being cold sucks.
Then I'd rather be.
Yeah. Like I lost feeling of my feet a long time ago, to be honest with you.
Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna let you go and heat up because I'm like genuinely concerned for your health. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Can you guys just do a last minute plug of your channels where people can follow you on YouTube, Instagram, other social media? Colin, you first.
Okay, Collin Abroadcast, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook actually now too. I'm starting to cut up all my videos and release them on Facebook and make Facebook directed content because that's a lot more short form content there. So it gives me more creative.
Yeah, everyone go follow Colin. He has the most fascinating videos about like markets, bargaining. I can watch your videos for hours. I just find them so fascinating. I'm just like, what's he gonna get? Nice.
Nice.
Because you're rooting for him. You're like, come on, like.
Yeah,
really?
It's like or something. Like, I'm not into sports, but I'll watch your channel.
I don't like a sport.
I like that. I guess I never get the outside vision or the outside. I can't see from the outside in. So
yeah,
I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that.
Well, and it's super helpful for like people like me who need help bargaining. Like I've said so many times, I'm like, I watch them so I can see what you do and try to mimic it. I still haven't fully achieved that, but maybe I should just keep watching more. I don't know, but
as long as you get more confidence going into it, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So Poppy, where can we find you on social media? Where are you posting mostly these days?
Instagram is pretty much all I've been posting. I make a lot of stories. So where's that Poppy? I have a fitness page as well. Haven't been posting as much on that, but it's Poppy Does Fitness because I try to do fitness and eat right. And then I do have a Facebook page. Don't really post much on it, but you can follow me there if you want. It's Where's Poppy with a question mark because Facebook wouldn't let me take the question mark out. It's really annoying. And then YouTube, this channel, Where's Poppy? And I think that's it. Yep.
Awesome. Well, if anyone is interested in following me, you can do that on Blondie in China, Instagram, and YouTube. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Get warm. And look forward to
let's do it again.
Soon. Yeah, let's do it again.
Fun. It's like hanging out, like Zoom chat.
What if we did a virtual market trip where we could be going live and you could be like in my ear, like telling me what to say when I go bargaining somewhere?
Oh, that's good. I like that.
I've had that idea. Yeah, we should do that.
That would be cool. Let's work that out. Maybe it would be better as a video, like an actual video where like you can be recording yourself and then I've got my vision and what I look like and you can just be telling me exactly what to say to like the different people.
Yeah.
That's pretty
We
funny.
can definitely do some crazy type of stuff like that. I have some ideas, so once we all get together, we'll do that.
Awesome.
That is cool.
We'll look forward to meeting you all in person one day. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy and happy.
Yeah,
Bye,
you
guys.
too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Everybody stay safe and
See
healthy.
you.
Yeah.